Hi everyone, welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how clients are meeting their long-term care needs using their life insurance with just a little bit more planning. Coming up next. Hi everyone, Ray Valencia here, creator of Kept Investor. I'm an investment advisor representative, a life insurance agent, and on this channel, I hope to share with you investment and insurance information that you can use from the perspective of someone who works in the field, boots on the ground, every day. So there's 4 ways we can traditionally pay for long-term care needs. The first is obvious. You just take it out of your bank account, pay for it in cash. The second is traditional long-term care coverage. The third, you can buy an annuity with a long-term care rider. And the fourth, you can buy a life insurance policy also with a long-term care rider. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to focus on life insurance with the long-term care rider for a couple reasons. One, if you have the cash to pay for it out of pocket, you're done. 2, if you can afford the premiums on a standalone long-term care policy, you can probably afford to pay for it out of pocket as well. There are exceptions, but I'm pushing those aside for now. The third one, the annuity is a single premium product, which means you need to come up with a lump sum to get started, which is absolutely a valid way to do it, but for today's conversation, we're going to do a strategy that kills 2 birds with 1 stone. So one of the innovations in life insurance that a lot of people are not aware of is that you can also use it for your long-term care needs. Now the way it works is it's like a standard life insurance policy. You pay your premium, you get a death benefit, which pays out to your beneficiaries, whether that be a family member, a charity, a trust, whatever it may be in your case. But before your death, if you should not be able to perform 2 of the 6 activities of daily living, the policy will pay you or advance you that death benefit for use during that period of time. Now, what are those 6 activities of daily living? Well, they're bathing, they're dressing, eating, transferring, which means being able to transfer yourself in and out of bed, toileting, and continence, which means the ability to control one's bladder and bowel movements. Now, if your doctor certifies that you can't perform 2 of those, you now qualify for benefits under the long-term care rider. So I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, wow, this is going to cost a fortune. I'm paying for a life insurance policy and I'm paying for a long-term care policy on top of that. It doesn't quite work that way. It's actually about 1/3 of what it would cost to have a standalone long-term care policy. So I'll give you one example, and this is on a male, age 70, non-smoker, standard health rating. So he didn't come in preferred or super preferred, and he didn't come below standard. There's usually 4 to 6 different tables below standard. In this situation, the standalone policy would have been about $3,400 a month. With the life insurance policy with the LTC rider, it's a little bit over $1,000. I think it was $1,038 in this case. Now, it's all case by case. It requires underwriting, but that gives you a general feel for the outlay required. And the benefits here were about $6,000 a month for 50 months. So it wasn't a bottom of the barrel policy. It was a significant amount of coverage. So I do want to encourage you, if you're going to look into these policies, make sure you always get a full illustration. They're typically 30 to 40 pages, but there's going to be 2 pages who describe very well what is included in the rider. So there's 2 big categories. You're going to see what's called an ABR, Accelerated Benefit Rider, and you're going to see also an LTC rider. Depending on the state you're in, the rules are a little bit different on what insurance companies are allowed to call what. I'm in the state of California, and it's very well regulated what can be called an LTC rider, but there's plenty of really great ABR riders out there as well. Just make sure you see the actual language. I also want to share with you a pro tip. There's a lot of people out there who may have tried to get insurance at one point and maybe they had a condition, but now that condition's been managed for years in many cases. And maybe you're concerned, I don't want to go through that process only to be rejected again. What you can do is ask your agent to apply informally for a policy. And what that means is you fill out a questionnaire, you provide it to the underwriting team at the carrier, and they give you a ballpark. They say, okay, well, based on what you have, maybe you did have this condition, but you show that it's been managed. It could be blood pressure, it could be a number of different things. And they'll tell you, okay, based on what we see here, you're gonna be right around here in pricing, and you can decide at that point, okay, let's apply formally, or I'm not interested, and walk away. But there are options. I'd hate to see people just take themselves out of the equation without having all the facts and information. Now, for those of you who already have a life insurance policy, and I'm referring to a cash value life insurance policy at this point, maybe you've been holding on to it for quite some time, it's built up some cash value, you do have the ability to transfer it into a new policy. It's called a 1035 exchange, so there's no tax ramifications to doing this, and you can get a new policy, start a new policy with a long-term care rider. There is underwriting involved, you do have to qualify, of course, but if you can get it, it's a great way, like I stated in the beginning, to kill two birds with one stone. And another pro tip, you may be holding on to a term policy that is convertible to a policy with long-term care benefits. It's not that common, but if you have it, it's a huge benefit and a huge win if you have health conditions that would prevent you from just getting a normal or going through a normal underwriting process. As always, I hope you found this information beneficial. If you have any questions specific to your situation, feel free to call my office. We can set up a time to discuss it, and I'm happy to help you work through it. Thank you.